Good morning. Today we're going to talk about inspecting your harness. Personal fall protection systems can be a very real help to us, a real lifesaver for those of us who do work at heights continually. So we want to talk about inspecting your harness. You are going to have to wear it on a regular basis. You need to make sure that it's in good shape. If your harness is not in good shape, you can be putting your life in a risky situation. It's important to inspect your personal fall arrest system and to do that every time before use. So when I say that, what I mean is you want to inspect it at the beginning of the shift, and especially if you've been up on the iron, you've been welding, then let's make sure before you go back to have a look at it again. Don't trust someone else to do your inspection for you. You do your inspection because it's your life that's on the line. Always follow the recommendations of the manufacturer and with regard to your inspection and your maintenance requirements. And here's some things that you can look for. Begin by holding the harness by the D-ring. Bend the straps in an inverted U and watch for frayed edges and broken fibers, pulled stitches, cuts, or any kind of chemical damage. Check your D-ring, all your D-rings, and look at the wear pads for distortion, any kind of cracks or breaks or rough or sharp edges. The D-ring bar should be at a 90-degree angle from the long axis of your harness, and it should pivot freely. Attachments of buckles and D-rings should be given special attention. Note any unusual wear, frayed or cut fibers, or distortion of the buckles. If you have rivets on your harness, then the rivets should be tight and they should be unmovable with your fingers. Body, side rivet, base, and outside rivet should be flat against the material. Bent rivets will fail under stress. They've already been distorted, so they will fail under stress, certain kinds of stress. Inspect your frayed or broken strands. Broken webbing strands generally appear as tufts on the webbing surface. Any broken, cut, or burned stitches should be able to be readily seen. Tongue buckle tongues should be free of distortion in shape and motion. They should overlap the buckle frame and move freely back and forth in their socket. It shouldn't be hard for you to buckle your leg straps or your waist strap. Rollers should turn freely on the frame as far as the buckles go. Check for distortion or sharp edges. Then if you have a friction buckle, inspect the buckle for distortion. The outward bar or the center bars need to be straight. If it's gotten distorted somehow, then that indicates that it's the frame and the strength of it has been compromised. So pay attention to the corners and the attachment points of the center bar. Now let's move on a bit to lanyards. When inspecting lanyards, begin at one end and work to the opposite end. Slowly rotate the lanyard so that the entire circumference gets a look. Spliced ends require particular attention. Snap hooks, inspect closely for hook and eye distortion, for cracks, corrosion, or pitted surfaces. You should be able to open the gate on the hook and let it go, and it should self-close. If it does not self-close, that means there's some kind of dirt down inside the mechanism, or that somehow the mechanism has been compromised, either by the hook being distorted or something else. The keeper, the latch that we're just talking about, that should seat into the nose without binding and shouldn't be distorted or obstructed in any way. The keeper spring should exercise sufficient force to firmly close the keeper. The keeper locks must stop the keeper from opening when it closes. Closing and locking mechanisms should move freely without sticking or jamming. While bending webbing over a piece of pipe, observe each side of the webbed lanyard. That's going to reveal any kind of cuts or breaks. The outer portion of the shock absorbing pack should be examined. Look for burn holes, look for tears, look for distortions as a result of some outside force. Stitching in the areas where the pack is sewn to the D-ring, the belt, or the lanyard, those are all things that you should examine to make sure that they don't have rips or loose strands or deterioration in any way. All of these things are important. We're going to consider your SRL separately, but today we just wanted to talk about the harness and the lanyards. So bear these things in mind and make sure to inspect each time you use your harness, because the life that you're saving is your life, not someone else's. So pay attention to that detail each time that you get ready to put on your harness. Thanks very much.